Let me grab my microphone. Let me grab my microphone. You see what the title is. Doom, da doom, da doom, da doom. Beep, 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 dee, dee, dee. Okay. Oh boy, Nuggets fans. Sacramento Kings? Well, welcome in to another edition of GNTF plus 5 to go. I am your host, Kip Nupcheck. Yeah. We're going to be playing the finest tunes tonight. Zach LaVine versus Michael Porter Jr. Can the Nuggets protect their spot in the Western Conference against the Sacramento Kings? Where's this all heading, Nuggets fans? How do you feel about it? We'll be watching the game and reacting to what's happening with the action and the traction. In fact, yeah, I'll be looking to hear from guys like Fishing for Cards, and in G, Timothy Rimothy. I know we'll have a Daniel Miller sighting. Does Mike Malone's job need to be on the line? That's a question we can ask and answer. As the Nuggets currently are down, 12 points to the Sacramento Kings? How you feel about that, Nuggets fans? How do you feel about watching Zach LaVine, who many of us believe that Michael Porter Jr. might have been traded for? Uh-oh, I ran out of music. I guess that means it's time for me to stall, and then start the show.
And now it's time to play everybody's favorite game. Good news.
We are having that combination. Jesus Christ. We can't run.
All real. I was going to start later, but I figured I better start early because it looks like it might be over fast. Holy crap. That was an offensive foul on Valanciunas, not called. Nuggets down 55-41, gave up 40 plus in the first quarter. That was awesome. That's how you do it. No, they're down 55-44. That's awesome. That's how you do it. So you're down 11 to the Sacramento Kings with, the toughest part of your schedule. If it's talking about maintaining that playoff positioning, top, didn't get out of the corner yet. Maintaining, one of those top spots in the West. All of that hanging in the balance in this next stretch of games. And this was probably not the start that you were looking to have. As now you'll have to dig yourself out of a hole to beat the Sacramento Kings. Although the Sacramento Kings, that's an above 500 team. The West is filled with talent. And Sacramento, who rebuilt their roster by adding Zach LaVine to DeMar DeRozan and getting rid of De'Aaron Fox, but you know, they still got guys. They still got guys. And man, let me see if it still holds. There's not a nugget in double figures yet. Now, 8 Nuggets have scored. That's good. Not near one of them is in double figures yet. That's bad. Both Joker and Michael Porter Jr. are minus 15 in the plus minus. That's bad. Oh, now we've seen minutes from Jalen Pickett. He's scored 5. He's a minus 10 though. That's bad. 2 of 3 from the field though. Zeke Naji, Peyton Watson's back. Welcome back, Peyton. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think it's kind of tough as a Nuggets fan to see newfangled rosters come in, at least in this instance, and just know what we didn't do at the trade deadline. And, you know, I will be the lonely only. I get it. I'm the only guy who's worried about this team and its travails going forward. Everybody else says, yeah, they'll be fine. It's business as usual. They'll be fine. Julian Strawther out for the rest of the year, so we won't have him to call on his scoring. So now guys like Jalen Pickett are going to get more of a shot, more of an opportunity. The Nuggets are deplorable defensively. It seems like more and more anybody can get off against the squad, and that's disconcerting. That's bad. But we'll see what happens as the game progresses. I was watching the first half on pins and needles. And as Sacramento, it wasn't so much that the Nuggets were held to such a lowly scoring output. It was more so that they just couldn't do anything. They gave up 42 in that first quarter. They just could not do. There's nothing that Sacramento didn't get that it wanted. And if anything is concerning about this Nuggets team, it's defensively. Fishing, what's good?
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice work.
Nuggets down 8 right now, currently 55-47. A little 3 minutes, 32 seconds left in the first half. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is one that they gotta have. This is one that you gotta have. And the reason behind that is really just how the Western Conference is starting to it's starting to shift as the Lakers move forward, and they seem to be their new roster. And you know, congratulations to LeBron, who 50,000 combined points. I don't give a damn what I think about him. That's impressive. Postseason and regular season combined, that's impressive. So congratulations to LeBron. But it looks like the Lakers will be something to watch heading into the postseason. And like I told y'all, I told you, watch Golden State Wake. I said it. I was there when I said it. Nuggets down 10 with a little 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Let's take a look at the standings because the Western Conference is, man, the race in the West versus the race in the East, it couldn't be more diametrically opposed. Top 6 teams in the West are, well, everybody below Oklahoma City is separated by a max 6 games. That being Golden State and the Lakers. And then just below that, the Minnesota Timberwolves, Sacramento in the 8th spot, the Clippers, who lost last night in terrible fashion to the Phoenix Suns. Great comeback win for Phoenix, although they probably shouldn't have had to do that. This Western Conference playoff race is going to be, and so I personally have just resigned myself to the inevitable. This is not the Nuggets' year. This is the year that something drastic needs to happen. Daniel Miller's suggestions are starting to come to mind, although I do think it would be, at best, ceremonial for Mike Malone to lose his job. Julian Strawther's having a great time, by the way, at the game. He's all smiles, which he should be. Listen, this is not the end of the world. This is not the end of the world. This is just basketball. But it is, I believe, the end of an era. I think that if this season goes the way that I picture it going for the rest of the season, what are you going to do when they do win it? Well, have you been watching the game? I just want to know if you've been watching the game. That's my only question to you. Have you been watching the game, tonight's game? And if you've been watching tonight's game, just tell me what you think about their performance. I don't know whether they win it or whether they lose it. I think if you think that this team is championship caliber in this current NBA, I think we've seen what we needed to see. I think we've seen it. Yeah, I'm willing to call it. I think we've seen it. They are not one of the NBA's top 2 teams. I'm watching it right now. It was a sluggish start. That's one that would be one way to depict their start. Sluggish. That sounds like you're, something offensive. Like, okay, they're off to a sluggish start. They're not, having the same offensive output. It's more so their inability to stop anyone. You can't be sluggish on defense. You're either going to play defense or you're not. And it seems like, I could be wrong, but it seems like anybody can get off on this squad. And now the Nuggets offense is starting to fail them, which is one thing that we're not used to seeing. We're not used to seeing them struggle offensively so mightily. They managed 29 points in the first quarter. And with 2:09 left in the second quarter, they've scored 18 points. The problem is that they gave up 42 in the first quarter because they've held Sacramento to 12 points in the second quarter. So they've tightened it up somewhat offensively. So what does that tell you? Is that a team that doesn't take? Now you've had a shift in the starting lineup because Peyton's back, Julian's out. It's been a revolving door. Don't get it twisted. I understand what's going on. No AG tonight. What are you going to get out of him? Going forward. Michael Porter Jr. continues to be Michael Porter Jr. These are the things that I think are the consistencies, the things that are consistent about this team aren't going to change. And so if you think that a sluggish start is what you can attribute that to, I respectfully, I disagree. I just feel like at a certain point in time, it's not too early to call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? At a certain point in time, you just call what you see. I'm just calling what I see. This is a team that you can say, oh, they get off to sluggish starts. Oh, the one thing that I think that is most consistent about the Nuggets over the course of these last 5 games, Joker has started to look like he's wearying under the pressure of having to be this team's only consistent offensive output in all phases. He's the one guy who has shown up night in and night out consistently and brought the same thing every night. You know what you're going to get, and you get it. Now, of course, it's at an MVP level, so it stands out more. He's doing it at a level that we haven't seen before. So that sets a different bar. That sets a different expectation bar. And so I get that part. But I also think that, at a certain point in time, like this question, or this comment, I don't get what people expect. We consistently talk about the NBA being this, and then get mad when it's what we say it is. I'm not mad. I'm just calling a spade a spade. There's no anger here. We say season doesn't start until Christmas, but get mad. No. Yeah, listen, it's March. This isn't a point. This March, there are less than 20. How many games left in the season? 60. There's 20 games left in the season. 21 games left in the season. We are officially in the fourth quarter of the season. Officially. Because there's only 82 games in the season. We are officially so this isn't an issue of, you expect too much. It's early. It's not early. And what you're seeing is what you're seeing. And the likelihood that a roster that now is suffering from, the injury bug, it's going to hit everybody, hit this team at the wrong time. But there's also just blatant inconsistencies. This team has still not reached a point. Think about this. In Michael Porter Jr.'s now, what year are we in? Let me see. Okay, yeah. We are officially in year 6 of Michael Porter Jr.'s career. And they still haven't been able to count on this dude in a consistent output. That's a problem. It's a consistent problem. There's just nothing that you can say you can count on. What do you count on when it comes to Michael Porter Jr.? He's going to show up 3-4 games, and then other games he's going to disappear. What you can count on is that he's going to be very, 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 very short on the winning play metric. He doesn't make a lot of winning plays. Doesn't get to a lot of loose balls. That's very consistent about Michael Porter Jr. That's a problem, because now when you have in and out in your lineup and there's no AG to count on, and Peyton Watson's just coming back, and while I say everything, I give Christian Brown all the credit in the world for being a candidate for most improved player. We're still only talking about Christian Brown in year 3, like solidly in the middle of year 3. Zeke Najee's now having to contribute more because of the absence of AG. These are things that now you can look at that and say, okay, well, that's the reason why they Jamal's still around. Jamal's still Jamal. MPJ's still around. MPJ's still MPJ. Russell Westbrook has the bloom's coming off the rose a little bit for me, only because what he does well doesn't work in situations like this. Like right now, Russ is 2 of 7. And that's just, that's kind of par. 2 turnovers. That's kind of par for the course. What we've been seeing is just a very erratic shooting performance, but Russ will always bring energy. The only guy in the plus, quite honestly, is Jamal. So good on Jamal. Nuggets down 10 at halftime, 65-55. So it's not a matter of, I don't know what people want. You're very forgiving, Fishing, and I applauded about you, but I'll make no apologies for just expecting to see more. I'd like a team that takes the defensive end of the ball seriously, and you can't blame that on just solely guys coming in and out of the lineup. That's an effort thing. You give up 42 points in the first quarter, and it's why you find yourself, like legit, why you find yourself down 10. Because they had 29-point output. It wasn't bad. We're talking about a team that was the second leader. I don't know, that number's probably dipped by now. And when you give up that, here's the thing. You give up that 42. You know who much of it was to? Jake LaRavia. This guy. Jake, the immortal Jake LaRavia. Wake Forest's very own. Averages 6.6 points per game. He's damn near tripled his point total. And this is a consistent theme with the Nuggets. Anybody can get off against this squad. Anybody. Anyone can get off against this squad. That is consistent. And is in the house.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
So those are my points. I think that's where I think that's the lens that I'm looking at this. And so I'm just projecting out. I'm just projecting out and saying, does this look like a Western Conference champion? That's not a hard question or a bad question to ask with less than 25 games. We're officially in the 4th quarter of the season. I don't think it's a bad question or a low vibrational, bad energy question to ask. Does this look like a Western Conference championship team? He said, I'm not forgiving. I'm actually very petty. But it's the first half. I'll be upset at the end. Okay. Watching the first half as an assessment, what is your assessment of the first half? If you say no, If you say no, then you don't believe the MVP makes a difference. I think that what I said what I said. The Chargers released Joey. Whoa, what does that say about him? Andon says, I'm going to come in hot on this one because I'm about to get pissed off. Been wrangling my kid the whole first half, so half paying attention, but this half is mid. Mid? I mean, they had a better second quarter than they had a first quarter. It was one, to Fission's credit, it was 1 quarter of basketball. But again, slow starts. 3-4 quarters. We're in the fourth quarter. You still off the slow starts? Oh, okay. It's because you're missing AG. Okay, got it. So you got your 3 highest paid players, but you take AG out, and that just throws everything out of whack. Oh, it's because you're missing the services of Julian Strother. Okay, I get it. That ruins the chemistry. No, this is a thing. And my initial point was more towards Daniel Miller. Maybe it's time to start looking at it. Obviously, the message is falling on deaf ears. Obviously, there's a disconnect between Mike Malone's message to his team and what ends up coming out on the court. Because what is consistent is that this team gets off to sluggish starts. This team is consistently off to sluggish starts. So wherever Daniel Miller, wherever you're at, you finally got me on the boat, brother. I'm in the boat. Lost this team is, I think, a bit of an understatement. The question is what did he ever have with them? And that's not to say that they didn't obviously climb the mountain and achieve championship success with him as the head coach. It's more so to say if that wore thin, well, okay, we say 2 years, but how long has he been coaching the squad? You know what I mean? And he's been with these guys. So this is probably about that time. I mean, it's sad to say, it's sad to say. It's just a weird concept. Not sad. Sad is reserved for tragedy within your family. It's just a weird concept that any championship coach could lose his team, that his message would grow old. I think that happens with guys who maybe there wasn't that much of a message at all. That's personally my opinion. Because think about winning coaches. Think about Andy Reid. Yeah. This is my point. Anyone can get off against this squad. They are literally down what's his name? Sakto Larabi. They are literally down his 10 points over his season average. Because anyone can get off on this squad. DeRozan has 13 on 3 of 15 shooting. Looking rough, Iggy D. Iggy D's in the house.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
DeRozan has 13 and Valanciunas has 14. They've locked the starters down and the bench players hitting shots. Yeah, that's okay. Again. You can't say you've locked down the starters one if DeRozan because what's his name's kid's not playing. So Valanciunas started the game, and Valanciunas is a very capable scorer. Like he didn't just get here. DeRozan is 5 of 15. I'll take his 13 points on 5 of 15 shooting. I'll take that. The question is how is it that you are, and if you've been watching the game, and I know you have, what's up, media critics in the house?
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all.
Yes, 5 of 15.
I'm a nice worker.
5 of 15 is awful. It's not his 5 of 15 that's the problem. It is that 15 points that you gave up to a guy shooting 6 of 7 off the bench. That's literally what they're down. Now, will they come back? Sure. But again, this team getting off to slow starts, it's an old, that's not, okay. What I will say is that's probably not indicative of a team that is, the only question I've been asking is, does this look like a Western Conference champion? That's the question that I'm asking. And it's the question I will demand a serious answer from. do they look like a Western Conference champion? In your heart of hearts, you have one of those. So I'm not just talking to fishing either. You have a heart of hearts. In your heart of hearts, is this a Western Conference champ? There's my question. Let's get to Daniel Miller here, because Daniel Miller is I think Daniel Miller is deserving of a bit of praise here.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Thoughts on the reports of the Nuggets working toward a buyout with Malone? I think it's time. How's that, Daniel Miller? I think it's time. I think it's time based on the slow starts. Nuggets slow starts is what we call the Malone way. I think it's time. I think again, media critic,
I want to thank the
I
whole
agree with
hood
this.
who came out here. I love y'all.
I'd say it looks like an exit prior to the Western Conference Finals. I could see it happening if they get the wrong draw, and it's looking like any team might be the wrong draw. If they get the wrong draw, we could be talking about an early season. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. If you keep doing something, here's the one thing about success in spite of your glaring flaws. If you keep doing the wrong things and getting the right results, you're kind of led to believe that you're doing the right thing. Now, whether it's a ceremonial bloodletting and just letting Mike Malone go because you can't do a lot in your roster, some team is going to have to be really generous in looking at Michael Porter Jr. and saying, I see upside there. Right? I think Jamal's played himself back into string when it comes to trade value. And let's be honest. Here are your 3 trade pieces. I'm already talking about the offseason. Yes, I'm doing it because I do not see a Western Conference champion. I am standing on that. I'm standing on that business. I don't see a Western Conference champ in this version of the Nuggets. I don't. If you do, more power to you. I'll be glad to be wrong. I will be glad to be wrong about that. Okay? Sacramento is shooting 50%. Why, though? Again, if you're watching the game, the shots that they're making aren't tough shots. A lot of pick-up 50-50 balls. A lot of just hustle plays where the Nuggets aren't hustling. And a lot of, basically not wide open, but poorly defensed shots. So my point is, okay, for those of us who are prone to look ahead, and I know all about, listen, in my meditative life, I know all about staying present. This is sports. So what we end up doing is we're all going to do projections. Everybody's going to do their projections. And my projective mind says, this is not a Western Conference champion. Okay. So now I'm already in how do you fix it mode. That's where I'm at. I'm making peace with it so that I don't have to get pissed at these slow starts and me watching Sakto Ravia light the Nuggets up like the second coming of Kevin McHale. Because see, that would get me in my red ass bag. But I don't want to be in my red ass bag. What I'm going to be in is my solution bag. I'm not going to be a problem maker. I'm going to be a problem solver. Why are Nuggets fans so scared to say anything about Malone? Nuggets fans on social media get so scared to say anything bad about. No, nobody's scared. I guess they like flirting into. I guess they like fitting into the everything's fine narrative. Well, I don't know. I think this is more the point. I think this sometimes is more the point. But Daniel, I'm here for you, bud. You and me, we're here. Okay, so stick around. We're here. I'm here with you. I do think that even if it's ceremonial, I think because, and this is why it ends up having to be ceremonial. There are some tough contracts to trade. Zeke Naji, you think that's an easy contract to get off? I think that's gonna be the hardest of all of them. Getting that Zeke Naji trade off for anything of value, and to think that Calvin Booth's going to be the guy that negotiates that deal, personally, I don't see it. If you see it, show me. You show me where Calvin Booth gets Zeke Naji off for anything of value. Right? So there's a tradable piece. Now you also have the, Michael Porter Jr. fiasco. This better not be true. This better not be true at all. This better not be true. Because if that's true, they are choosing to continue with the losing. Because as much as I love George Karl as a person, that man is statistically the worst postseason coach in the history of basketball. Statistically. So I don't know. I didn't see those reports. I don't want to see those reports. I don't want to hear it. Pop, let me see. There were reports George Karl was the top name of a trade for a coach of Pop is in the top 3 options. Well, Pop is sick. Pop's sick. And as far as I know, his intention is to return when he returns from his stroke or whatever. His intention is to return to San Antonio. I would love Greg Popovich, personally. I'd love him. Casey is too cheap to move on from Teflon Mike. We'll see about that. We'll see about that, media critic. I think here's the reason why I think Malone now might be on fire watch. Iggy, you're funny. You're funny. Right. Let's go full retread. Let's go full retread. Where's Lenny Wilkins? Is he resting in peace? If not, pull one Lenny Wilkins in. You know what I mean? Yeah, this I like this. I like this a lot. Maybe the Onion, right? I would hope that is not I would hope that that's just something along the lines of something that, no offense to you, Daniel Miller, that idiots say online. Like George Karl, people who don't understand basketball, it's like, George Karl. No, thank you. Great man. Great Rudy T. Let's keep pulling. Bring me more retreads. Bring me more that we would have to dig up from the grave. Those are the best retreads. Give me more. I'd trade Malone to OK for their shit coach. What? I'm pretty sure he's coached his team. Yes, he's got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but I'm pretty sure he's coached his team to a fine place, sitting 12 games in front of their nearest competitor, or 11 games at least out in front. I don't know about your assessment of their coach is all I'm saying. Daniel. Okay, so I'm already in let's get to the fixes mode. That's where I'm at. And I think that what ends up happening is now this, I'm going to be honest with you, Steve, media critic. Depending upon how their season finishes, I do believe there could be another parting in the ways with Golden State, and I do believe that it would be Steve Kerr next. Would I like to see him here in Denver? Guy who, he's got 4 rings. As a coach, kind of a no-nonsense coach, and I do believe that there comes a time when the message grows cold with everyone, and that could be his city. I'd like to see a Steve Kerr in Denver. More than anything, I just want to see them do something that includes moving on from Calvin Booth as the decision maker. He just seems to me too passive. Last night in watching, and the Clippers ended up losing that game. They jumped out and they jumped all over Phoenix, and then they ended up losing that game. But one thing that stood out to me was just Bojan Bogdanović. Watching Bogey, I was just like, damn it. You know what I mean? Another trigger unpulled, call it that. And it just makes me, this is going to be a rudimentary take. This is a very third grade take. I admit that. Nuggets down 73-61. And this is a very third grade take. This is a very, I wish that we had somebody else's GM take. Every time I see like Sacramento in town tonight, will Zach LaVine be a centerpiece of, a resurgent Sacramento Kings organization? I don't know. I don't think Zach LaVine is all that saucy to me. He's a great scorer, but I don't think he brings up much else to the table. But when you watch Zach LaVine, his performance, and tonight he's not burning down the house, right? He's only got 6 points, right? But just seeing the newness in Sacramento, that's why I said this is a very unsophisticated take. Seeing the newness in Sacramento just makes me wish that there was a guy who had a different vision for the Nuggets other than I don't know what to do. That's what I get from what I get from Calvin Booth's performance in this particular instance, in this year where, you know, it looks like there should be changes that need to be made. What I get from is paralysis by analysis, right? Is John? I think Josh Kroenke, by way of his father, is the only place that Calvin has to turn for a basketball mind that can say anything more than don't spend any more money. I think the hard line comes down from Stan, which is we're not going over that second. We're not going into whatever it means to cross over the threshold of the second apron, whatever the hell that is. It's just not doing it. Not doing it. So whatever. And so then Josh Kroenke is left to be the voice that I think, and look, I mean, everything that Sacramento is getting is easy. This team is, if you're watching what I'm watching now, you know, Joker's appealing to the refs. Nuggets down 75-61, you know. You know, it's so frustrating too. It's so frustrating. Watching Dario Saric dap Joker coming off the, it's just like, man. Oh, that salary, huh? No way on Kerr, although he'd fit into the Colorado occasion. What does that mean? Help me understand what the Colorado occasion means. Trade Miami for Spalt. Now you're just, see, this is where you lose me. This is where you lose me. Why would, so you're just saying things, right? Just to help me, just, Daniel, do me a favor. Put in parentheses, just saying shit. Because why would Miami do that? Why would Miami trade Eric's? Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you're just, and you know what? You can do that. That's fine. It's fine. Andon says, it's not Booth. It's not Malone. This team doesn't want to play energetic, handsy defense, period. I don't know what the answer is, but I do know if they don't turn it up, they won't win this game. I'm already beyond this game, to be honest with you. I'm watching it. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Yes, there's a fourth quarter run. There is a run in this team somewhere during this game. It happens in every game. It happens in every game. There's going to be a run. My point is simple. My point is simple, and I don't think it's too high of an expectation. Dante's in the house.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
McKinnon, league MVP. Nichushkin, team MVP. Jokic, league MVP. Gordon, team MVP. I see what you're building there. I think anybody who has, I think any Nuggets fan who would turn and make Joker the problem, I got to question what's going on with you. I'm looking at you, Fishing. Sometimes it seems like you're trying to scapegoat Joker as though he's not worth what he's getting paid. I don't know. Maybe I might be overreading. So correct me if I'm wrong. They pay Najee a little over half what they pay McKinnon per year. Hockey is cheaper. Yeah, hockey's cheaper. We've established that. Hockey doesn't cost as much as basketball. We've established that. They do, though they spend every cent they have. They've completely redone the goalie room and just made another move at the deadline. The narrative that Cronkies don't spend is dumb. No, it's not that they don't. It's that they won't overspend. I don't think anyone's talking about them not spending money. They've spent the money. They've put the checkbook in the hands of a guy and two guys. You know, you can attribute some of that. I do know that Zeke Najee's contract wasn't given to him by Calvin Booth. That was I still don't get that one. Maybe that was like a little kick in the pants when, you know, on the way out the door. I just, you know, I don't know what you saw there. Christian Brown is playing very tentative, oddly. He's like, he'll be right in the middle, the teeth of the defense, and then choose to make things harder. Nuggets down 75-67. They're going to make their push. They will make a push. One trip past the second round of the playoffs in 8 non-bubble seasons will soon be 9. If you're just paying attention, these aren't hard things to come up with. Very astute observation, media critic. If you're just paying attention, it's like, you can argue, whether or not people are too surly or, too quick to pull the trigger, or you guys are always complaining, whatever. But it's like the results are the results. And again, we're just talking about, personally, me, I'm always just talking about who doesn't want to max out on a Hall of Famer's career? Like, who doesn't want to do that? What organization would do that? Who would do that? Who would opt to not max out on a Hall of Fame career? Nuggets down 75-69, 8 minutes to go in the third. There's a lot of basketball to be played. So to fishing for cards point, this ain't over. Cronkies don't look at the Rams, Avs, Rapids, and Nugs budgets in the same buckets. These operations run independently, especially financially. Nice. Michael Porter Jr. at 6'10", gets thrown by Keegan Murray at the rim. He plays so passively. It's annoying to watch. It's annoying to watch. Around the association, what else we got going tonight? A couple of games that will have some say as to what happens in the West. Thunder Grizzlies, currently 48-47. That one's tightly played. What else would have some implications? Timberwolves won tonight, so they'll move up in the standings. Doesn't matter what the Jazz do. God, Kyrie's season coming to an end with an ACL tear, that one's tough, man. That one's tough. Don't forget Arsenal. Dante said, don't forget Arsenal.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all.
Denver Nuggets are the 7th this year in salary. It's easy to say what to do with someone else's money is all I'm saying. No, you're absolutely right. I get to sit in a seat where it don't cost me nothing and tell the Nuggets how to spend their money. That you're not wrong there. That is a luxury of being a person just running their mouth, talking shit about things that I ultimately don't have control over. So that, my friend, I will readily admit is kind of annoying about fans. I readily admit that is annoying. It's so easy for me to say they spent this money wrong over here, but it was the handling, I think, of the Jamal Murray contract. Like, you didn't have to give him the extension when you gave him the extension, and you just put yourself in a financial bind. Can we say that? Can we all agree on that? Same thing with Michael Porter Jr. And then the die had already been cast with, like, this team has 3 bad contracts, in my opinion. There's 3 bad contracts. Jamal Murray's not a max player like he's being paid. The gamble on whether or not Michael Porter Jr. would become anything more than, I think, what we've seen is, I think, the die's cast. I really do believe the die's cast. If this guy hasn't, in 6 years, stepped into his own confidence, like to just play a consistent form of basketball, he can't create his own shot. That's money that was woefully overpaid. And then, of course, the Zeke Naji contract. It's just, they've got 3 bad deals. Like, it's only down 6 though. They're pushing. They're pushing. They're making a case. They are making a case. 81-75, with 5 minutes 36 seconds left in the third. It stood to reason that the Kings were going to come back. I want you guys to understand something. My assessments are not based off of wins and losses. It's about watching the games play out and how they look. It's about watching this team as a sieve defensively against veritably most, if not everyone that they face, and solely depending upon Herculean offensive output that may or may not show up in certain times. And then the question is who are the guys that it shows up for? That's where my red ass comes from, just to make it clear. Nuggets down 84-75, 4:56 left in the third. That's, my assessments, I watch the game. I know what I'm seeing, and I just see a team that has its deficiencies. And this is not the year where this is not the year where that's going to suffice. This isn't that year. A 5 for 12 output for Michael Porter Jr. is different than a 6 for 12 output for Nikola Jokic. And we both know why, right? And Joker's not even having an assist night. Like this isn't a, the double teams are affecting Joker big time. And it's because, and now, I would imagine in these last couple of games where he's seen it and he has tried to force the issue in terms of passing the ball and guys haven't been hitting shots. So now he's forcing it offensively. And like DeMar DeRozan hits a shot and the reaction that Michael Porter Jr. has, like his shoulders slung low and the turn, it's just like, if you're watching what I'm watching, that body language in and of itself is just like, what? Are you okay? Are you all right? It's year 6. This is year 6. And it's just a roller coaster. So I look at that. So anyway, let me get back to my comments. You got 3 really hard contracts. Can I say that? Bad, you measure between bad and hard. They got 3 really hard contracts to look at going forward. Whatever this year becomes, you make your own assessment. Mine is that they're not going to make it out of the Western Conference. That's my assessment, and I'm standing on that business. This is not a Western Conference champ. I don't even know if this is a team that can make it out of it. Depending upon the matchup, they'll have a hard time making it out of the first round. That's just my assessment, and it's okay that that's my assessment. Numbers. I like numbers. 185 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. Basically 186 million, and I'm pissed my GM and owner doesn't want to spend more money. Wild. 203 million next year. Yeah, it's what it's being spent on. I think you're missing the point again, and I think you're willfully missing the point. I think you're willfully not listening to the point. It's not what they spent, it's what it's spent on. And if it's spent on bad contracts, you might have to come off more money to fix that in order to get the one contract that you have that's spent well. It's just due in surrounding it with the type of talent. And you know who would do that? Jeannie Buss will do it. That's the only point. Should Malone return next season? You're doing that thing, Daniel. You have more to offer than the open-ended questions. We've already covered the Malone angle. If you have suggestions, give those. Damn fishing, who pissed in your Wheaties today? So we can't have fun critiquing and pretending we know more than everyone in sports orgs. That's what makes it fun. You're pooping on the party already? LOL, exactly. No, say what you want. I'm just putting facts out. It's not on the owners for players to perform. No, it is not on the owners for players to perform. Who is this? Running at altitude. What up?
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all.
What does that say about Joey Bosa?
Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
What does that say about Joey Bosa if he's been released? Let me go look at that story. Is there something that we should know? Shador's trending. And Joey Bosa's trending. Joey Bosa's trending. Shocking, brash, arrogant. Shador Sanders shakes hands of every member of our production staff. Okay, somebody. Ryan Koenigsberg is throwing it down. Ooh, hold on.
And not prime time. Let's call this what it is. If Shador Sanders was white, if Shador Sanders' father was a random truck driver and not Neon Dion and not prime time, you would not hear even a tenth of the stuff that is getting brought up about his personality, his character, his attitude leading up to this draft. Call it what it is. The NFL and its good boy network of coaches and owners and personnel cannot stand the concept of a young, confident, brash, black quarterback explaining to everybody that he knows his worth and doesn't need to impress anybody in order to be drafted. So naturally, they're going to find any and every reason to try and take this kid down a notch. You see, when Josh Rosen before his
I believe
came out,
I believe part of that take. I don't know as much. I don't know as much. I was trying to get to the Joey Bosa story, and I just clicked on this. I don't know so much of the race angle as I do know that, because if race is still an issue in the NFL, that's a league that's what 80% black. But I mean, with many black quarterbacks, and I think that that's weird. Now it may still be a thing, but I think it's more so the money, the flash, the acting like you've already made it, and maybe that does have shades of or elements of race to it. But I think it's more so football tends to want its players in certain regards, and it could be this is what's trending. So I just stopped. They want their stars to be more burr, they want more Bo Nix and less Shador. Now, if that's a race thing, whatever. Okay, so God, why? What does that say about the Chargers releasing Joey Bosa? Seems like they must know something about him physically that we don't know, right? Right? Nuggets fan? I mean, the Broncos fan? Or you want to see Joey Bosa in the orange and blue? Skunk Life's in the house.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Bro, yes, it's still a thing, and we have plenty of examples of it. Is it stupid with the league predominantly looking like us? Yes, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'll give you that. I think it's weird. I think it's to me, it's like it's like we're here. You know what I mean? So that's the part for me that's like, if you guys are still having race issues, you might want to look around at the demographics.
I want to thank the whole
Jonathan Kidd's in the house.
Out here. I love y'all.
49ers should see if they can get a vet-friendly deal on Joey so he can play with his brother. That would be hell to pay. Bronco fan, do you want to see Joey Bosa in a Bronco uniform? Bosa can't stay healthy, and the Chargers are in cap hell. Okay, so this is I'm glad that somebody's pointing this out. So this is really like Joey Bosa is a liability. His production versus how many times he's going to be available is the deal. Nuggets are lollygagging into the playoffs. That's an understatement. They're pissing me off into the playoffs. I don't know if you guys have been hearing. I don't know if you might say, I'm already kind of I've moved on a bit. I am looking toward the future. And the future is bright because you still have a Hall of Fame player on the roster, but they're gonna have some serious questions to ask and answer when it comes to 3 contracts. What are you going to do about Michael Porter Jr.? I think at this point in time, the die is cast. He's not an assertive professional basketball player. Does that make sense? And therefore, he's not worth his contract. He is not assertive about increasing his abilities on, and I think as a professional, that's his job. That's not Mike Malone's job. I think Mike Malone should be a ceremonial fire at best. Just to, you kind of have to do it. I think you kind of have to do it. If things go the way that I think they're going to go, which is this team will not make it out of the Western Conference, whether it happens in the first round or whether it happens in the Western Conference Finals, which I don't think they'll reach the Western Conference Final personally, but they could. Whether it happens then or then, I think that sample sizing of the last 2 years says, okay, it's time to shake it up a bit. And I do think that Mike Malone's tenure has been long enough to warrant him being the ceremonial sacrifice. He's the sacrificial lamb, as it were. Do I think he deserves to lose his job? I think if you can't inspire your team to play energetic championship after winning a chip. Yeah, is it the same team that won the chip? No, you're down 3 players from that team, 3 very prominent veteran presences. But when it comes to those 3 players' contributions, Jeff Green was a stalwart veteran presence that came off the bench. He blocked some shots. He's going to rebound, but he wasn't, irreplaceable. You had a real energetic guy in Bruce Brown, you know what I mean, whose contributions were valid but not irreplaceable. I would say out of everybody, KCP was the one guy that you lost whose value is like, when you got a guy who can at times, he didn't last year, can at times hit an open shot, you know what I mean, in the corner when they need him to do that, and is going to man up and do his job defensively on the perimeter. Irreplaceable though, right? And so the guys who were charged to step up into those roles were your new acquisition of Russell Westbrook. You got to have more out of now Christian Brown. I think Christian Brown has done more than enough to prove that he's up to the task of stepping into his new role. You really needed Michael Porter Jr. to like losing Deron Holmes to injury. hurt because I believe he was pegged to be the backup that they needed for Joker. And so then Calvin Booth goes out and he goes and gets Dario Saric. It's like, I still will always have problems with that because I'm just like, if you watch basketball, you're anyway. So it's like, okay. And then, you know, I love DeAndre as a guy. I'm just like, he's not the veteran presence that you need on this team. A non-contributor to just pat people on the back and be a nice guy and then come on the floor every once in a while and just not really be a shell of his former self. I don't need that from DeAndre Jordan. I don't see where maybe he keeps guys together, Joker likes him, whatever. I'm like, you need guys that can help spell that man, not guys that are willing to joke around and pat him on the back. That's just me. So it's like, you've got those problems, hush, bub. You've got those problems that you've just not been able to address. And so, Esco, don't be a part of the problem. You're just kind of bottlenecked with bad contracts and non-contributors, and the writing's on the wall. So whether you leave in the first round, the second round, or the Western Conference Finals, I think what you've seen is the deterioration of this roster with not a lot of help left in the cupboard, or not a lot of help coming if you stay currently constituted. You're expecting guys like Jalen Pickett and Julian Strother to grow into major contributor roles, which they can, but there's other things. Nelson, Jesus, welcome to the party, pal.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Tell me how you really feel. Let's see. Nuggets said Cronkies don't want to over another apron. That's what I'm referring to. If it sounds like my house just exploded in activity, it did, because my cousin Wanjira came over and she is nothing if not volume. She's volume. She is the volume on arrival. She's instant volume. Esco, move from me, man. She is volume, if nothing else. Okay. Lakers' last chip was the bubble, bus spending all that money and getting nothing. Well, they're making moves. So I don't know what to tell you, man. Fishing. I don't know what to tell you, brother. People want to see moves. You don't want to see it? Cool. But people want to see moves. People want to see action. It is what it is, bro. You're just going to have to deal with it. I want Denver to go get DK or Lockett. DK Metcalf would be that would be a great addition. That would be a great addition. He wasn't checking the job and they ain't like that. Yeah. The thing about Shedeur is Shedeur doesn't have to. You know what I mean? Not needing it. But see, this is the point. Joe Burrow's cocky, and for whatever reason, that is appreciated, and Shedeur's is. So maybe there is an element of, not liking to see a brash. I know that sometimes sticks in the craw of I'm sorry for my brothers from a lighter shaded mother, but some rich white men don't like to see brash black men. It bothers them. They want us humble for whatever reason. And there are these weird double standards. Sorry, it is what it is. Best ability is availability. They were talking about Joey Bosa. They're getting bounced in round one, and Malone is getting canned. I think that's what the writing on the wall is looking like. But if we're lucky, we could have Dallas Mavericks ownership. Hey, there's that. We're not being held hostage by the Cronkies in that regard, because those people don't care about anything but the bottom line. The bottom line. Nuggets make the Western Conference Final. I owe you a beer. Okay, that's fine. If they make it, I don't know. If they make it, I don't know if anyone should owe you a beer if they make it. If they make it out, maybe. KCP looks old this year. He does. He looks like the game's passed him by. So that was my point. I'm saying his contributions weren't irreplaceable. If the Nuggets fall to the play, okay. If the Nuggets fall to the play-in, Malone should resign. I don't know about that, but we all know Joker would be pissed if Malone was gone. D-Mac would be scared shitless if Malone leaves. That's a lot. Shit, Mavs are moving to Vegas. LOL. I live in DFW around all these idiots, around all these idiot Dallas fans, and I'm praying that for that move just to enjoy the crash out. It will be Luka trade times a million here for it. Skunk Life, I want to come down there. I want to come down there and get the vibes. I'm thinking about outside of Austin. I want to buy. I'm looking at some land out there, and I would love to call that home. The optics are that it feels like we have not seen a dominant performance from this squad against a good team all season. That's not just the optics. I think if you go in and you mine the data, that's the fact. That's the statistical fact. They haven't beat a lot of good teams, if any. Championship caliber teams, let's call it that. Some close calls, but mostly lucky wins if any team is in the top 3. I think that's a statistical fact. If the Nuggets make the Western Conference Finals, fucking night, in my bar tab, yeah. If they make it out, I'll contribute to that. KCPD and 3 not replaced with the equivalent talent. I think that that's a fair assessment. I thought last year he kind of failed them in big shot moments, but overall his contributions were that, right? His contributions were he was the D&3 guy, and for the most part, he answered the call. For the most part, in his time in Denver, he answered that call, especially during the championship year, which is really what we have, right? Can you hear it? I hope you guys can hear it, what's happening in my house. My sister, my cousin, everybody's having a good time. It's time to release Westbrook. Listen, that's a great question only because when it looks bad, it really looks bad, right? And I hate to see that for Russ. I want to see him get a ring, but Ben C.
The whole hood who came out here, I love y'all. Day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Welcome to the party, pal. 3 bad contracts and a new CBA is the perfect shitstorm. It is, Ben. It is. It's really got this team handcuffed because, to Fission's point, who are we to spend the Cronkies money and say, go past the apron, spend into the salary cap, do whatever you got to do to win. Nuggets down 93-84 at the end of the third quarter, so they got some work to do. They've only scored 84 points. I think that's more. See, what we could count on with this team is that they were the second highest scoring team when Joker's in the lineup in the NBA. And if you're only scoring 84 points in 3 quarters, that's off their clip. I think they were somewhere around 116 per game. I think that's their game average, something along those lines. So it's like that's the issue. I think that's the big glaring issue is that now their struggles, 142-point quarter, 142-point quarter they've won both quarters since the first. But you have that slow start in the first, you give up 42 in the first, then you win the 2 subsequent quarters. You won the second by 3 points, 26-23, and you won the third quarter by 1 point. But that was after you dug yourself a 13-point hole in that first quarter against a team that, even though they're above 500, most would say Sacramento has no business handing it to the Nuggets by 42 points or a 42-point first quarter in Denver after a couple nights rest. You see what I'm saying? And that speaks to your team. There's no getting around that. That speaks to the mentality of this team, their preparedness, and that would be a Michael Malone issue. When is MPJ's contract up? Not for a while. I'll look that up, Jonathan Kidd, but he's going to be here earning money for a while. He's tradable now. Is he? Fishing, you tell me. What could you get from Michael Porter Jr.? We need another star alongside Jokic. Nelson, welcome to the party, pal.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Yeah, they need could you imagine? Dream with me. Imagine adding a guy like Luka Doncic alongside Joker. Or I'll give you another one who I think if you could add him in place of a guy like Aaron Gordon, Jimmy Butler, a guy who doesn't necessarily need plays drawn up for him. He's going to do the hard work. He's going to do the hard work. He's going to grit and grind and play good defense and scrap for loose balls. He's that guy, and he's going to hit big shots. And you do need another play like that. You need another guy like, I'm sorry, I love Jamal. You need another. You just need another. Your cousin is more volume than yours. Yeah, I know. It's crazy, brother. Wanjira shows up, and Wanjira's in the house. It's just light up, and I'm a ways away. This is a big house, and I'm a ways away. Just know that. I didn't want to say move. I didn't want to say moves. I want to see. Okay, let me reading. I didn't want to say moves. I want to at least talk about replacements. Who would they be? It's the same conversation. Okay, it's a fair conversation. I want to see moves, but no one ever comes with them just bashing and firing. No. I've had moves. Like, here's one that I've said. I would love to trade. I would love to trade Black Canadians. As much as you love Jamal, as much as Denver thinks about bubble Jamal, 50-point Maul, I think that it's Jamal defensively that is, because you just have one less perimeter defender. And I'm not saying that there's anybody in this league who's Bruce Bowen, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you need willing guys that are going to contribute on both sides. And I love RJ Barrett. I think RJ Barrett, and that's saying a lot because he went to Duke. So I'm a RJ Barrett fan. And I think that moves like that are the things that I'm talking about. So those are the, when you're saying, and it's a trade that actually worked. Those are the moves I'm talking about. I don't see it happening because the organization loves Jamal. So you're kind of stuck with them, it seems like. But I agree with you. Just saying fire guys, that can be annoying. Just saying, fire this guy or get rid of that guy or whatever with no answer. And they stay getting their ass beat in primetime games. There's that. How are you not up for everyone watching? How are you not up for that? I'm trying to catch up right now. Nelson says, reminder, we lost to the trash-ass Wizards. We all saw it. And right now they are down 5 at home to the Sacramento Kings. But they're making their case. They're making a push. Daniel Miller, why does Malone's struggle bus hit us so hard? I don't know. I think we're all looking for answers. Conga Hydra makes his appearance.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Is this a playoff game? I was hoping Nick was here. No, I had somebody that I know somebody I know closely was watching, and they went and did some. Nick won't be returning. Not that we did anything. I can see why Nick. Let's just say I can see why Nick is such an angry person. Let's just say that. Cade would be my dream. God, I know. And there's just nothing. There is nothing that's going to get that guy out of Detroit. They know what they have. The only thing that might get Cade out of there is that they're worse off financially than Denver is, right? They're not going to spend the money at a certain point in time. He's going to play himself into an unaffordable status for them if they want to remain. For when right now, Kyrie, yes, it sucks to say this part. I would agree with that, but I'm not a big fan of this new paradigm, by the way, that we've aged players out of athletic viability beyond the age of 36. Oh, he's past his athletic prime. I'm not a huge fan of that. Like, it's only down 4, 95, 91. They've made us wait for it. Here they come. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like it. But what I would say is ACL at this age with Kyrie, a game that is predicated off of explosiveness. That's why his handle is so dangerous, is because it's what follows it. He's able to rock you off your center because he's got that ball on a string and then blow by you because of it and his athleticism. An ACL, he's going to have to work hard to come back from that. And that's why I would say Jamal's contract is going to be it's like squirrel shit. That's good. That's good. It will. That's just a bad deal. It's just he's not a max player and he's getting played like one. He's not a max guy, right? He's streaky. He'll give you Nuggets down 95-93. Here they come with a burger on a bun. Fishing is stewing right now. Adding KD would have been awesome. I think KD is another. I definitely think you need a vet. I definitely think that it's a vet. And it's a guy who can thrive off a playmaker like Joker. So you're talking about a guy who probably is a perimeter player or excels in the perimeter, can actually hit an open jump shot, can hit a big shot, a player that can create for themselves at times, because we see the formula. The formula is throw hard double teams at Joker. That's the formula. The formula is throw hard double teams at Joker, triple team even if you have to, because we're daring their shooters to beat us, and there's not a lot there. So, yeah, I do think that a guy like KD, who it would seem like the time in Phoenix is coming to a close. I don't know what happens with that. Is KD one of those guys who's like, I would never play in Denver. It's not my type of city. I don't know, but I think playing with Joker, I can't imagine there's not a lot of guys who aren't salivating at the opportunity to play with a guy who's going to get you the ball, because that's Joker's MO, right? Kyrie's old, tore his ACL. Yeah, that was my point with him. Ben C says, the need another star narrative, man, easier said than done. Very much easier said than done. A few years ago, we had hope that AG was that guy. I don't know if anybody ever looked at AG, Ben, as the guy who was another star. No, I'm wrong. You're right. Because in Orlando, that's kind of what his role was, right? He was their Paolo Banchero before Paolo Banchero got there. He was that guy. Playmaker type. Definitely displayed more of an offensive game. He's actually dumbed his game down in his time in Denver, right? He became more of a utility guy. Rebound, play defense, dunker spot. He really dumbed his game down. And I don't know if it was to his betterment and this team's benefit that he did that, because now in the to say the latter part of his career, God, how old is AG? AG can't be 32. He can't be 30 yet. Is he 35? Well, how old is AG? Anyway, yeah, he's kind of a shell of what we had there. And I agree with you. He if the hope was that he would come here, look, Sacramento's missing those shots that they were hitting in the first quarter. Oh, Nuggets up 96-95. There you go. Jalen Brunson for Jamal Murray, but that's just dreaming. Yeah. Again, they know what they have there. They definitely know what they got there, right? Wizards lost. Should have cost Malone. Yeah, that was a little early in the season to fire a guy for losing to the Wizards. I would even say that. Devil's advocate. All pre-show commentary talked about another sellout show, like 75 in a row, I think. As long as the arena is selling out, what's the incentive for making big moves for another chip? Andon, none. Very astute point. Zeke Naji hit that shot. Zeke Naji hit that three that put the Nuggets up 95-96. Getting production out of Zeke Naji, let me tell you something. Obviously, meaning if Kyrie was healthy, yes, I want a player that would play. You got me. No. Kyrie is one of my team. Man, let me tell you something. I'm so proud of who he's become all the way around. I love Kyrie Irving, another Duke guy who I don't like Duke. So you're hard pressed to get me to give any kudos to a guy who went to Duke. Kyrie Irving to me is a man's man. He stand on business. He says what he means. He means what he says. I will not immediately cut the show. That is absolutely wrong. I stand on what I stand on, bro. Listen, man, this is sports. That shit might affect you. Me having the red ass, it don't affect me, brother. I get paid either way. So don't ever get it twisted. We just talking shit here. And I stand on what I stand on. Watching this team struggle against a team like Sacramento is annoying. And it doesn't spell championship at all. And if you are ecstatic, if you're pumped up about a come from behind win against the Sacramento Kings, who just put their roster together, lost their star in De'Aaron Fox, doesn't have the contributions of some of their key players. If that bolsters you, that's good on you, brother. You're a cheap date. You're a cheap date. I always project out, what would this look like against, I don't know, Oklahoma City? I guess we're going to find out pretty soon, won't we? In only 3 games from now, we'll find out what it looks like against the best, and then we can talk. We saw our one Nuggets championship in our life. Don't say that, Conga. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because what that means is if they only get one out of it, AG's 29. If they only get one out of it, that means that they wasted Joker. They wasted a Hall of Fame career. If they only get one, they wasted a Hall of Fame career. You have to trade MPJ and others for KD in the offseason. Yeah, I'm worried where a trade like that would leave you. I'm worried where a trade like that would leave you in respect to depth. How much would it take to get a KD here? right? Because you still need depth. Whether I respect Michael Porter Jr.'s game or not, he equals depth. His presence equals depth and potential, because he could always still become what everybody hopes that he'll become, right? And then if you lose Zeke Nnaji, am I saying, oh my God, you just lost a NBA top 75 all-time player in Zeke Nnaji? No, it's not. I don't look at it the same way as Bol Bol. I do look at it as you lost depth, and then depth is hard to replace with quality when now you're just trying to fill in spaces because you got to pay KG. I mean, you got to pay KD, right? And so that would be tough. They traded enough first for AG. He should be a star, and no one hates on him for some reason. You know what? That's a fair point, Fishing. I think that's a fair point that AG doesn't get enough. I think he's been at best a very passive piece and progressively getting more and more passive. And then the injury bug. Who said it? Availability is who said that? I think that was Skunk Life or somebody said it up top. Availability is the best trait, or whatever that saying is. That is now, it's like, God damn, dude, you're not available. And when you're on the court, it's like, well, if you're not coming out of the dunker spot, when they were throwing lobs to him out of the dunker spot, which quite honestly, it's like saying that you're going to base your offense off of a flea flicker, right? No one's going to let you just keep throwing backdoor lobs to your dunker spot guy, and that's your offense. Joker backing down, eyes in the back of his head. AG slinks along the baseline and is there for the lob. Teams caught on to that. That's why we don't see that a lot anymore, by the way. You don't see that anymore because that's not that's something that should happen as a part of a whole offense. And I think they were trying to develop something. And there were also you had a KCP that he could have kicked the ball to hit an open jumper. So there was a threat where you couldn't shade over and just focus on AG, right? And what you're seeing is that AG's contributions are as much a part of the problem. I'll say this. AG's contributions are as much a part of the problem as anything else we can blame. I will give you that, Fishing, for sure. Hands down. He's 29. Okay, good to know. Daniel Miller says, if we win, Fishing should get rid of YouTube, never come back. Come on. Why do you two we're going to get you two together. Why do you guys hate each other? Was that Zeke? That looked that took the lead. Weird. Yeah, Zeke. Listen, there is something to say about him getting playing time, and that is a Mike Malone thing. He didn't like young players and might have stunted some guys' growth. Why the Duke hate? Krzyzewski was a legend. Conga, I'm one of those guys that I am a contrarian in this regard. If everyone loves it, I'm probably not going to like it. Does that make sense? But it's more in a pop culture sense. So pop culturally, everyone loves Duke, or everyone loves the Dallas Cowboys pop culturally, or everyone loved Michael Jordan pop culturally. I didn't hate Michael Jordan, but I was definitely a Bulls hater. Hold on one second. All right. The one thing I can't stand is a big whiny dog. Don't like it. So with Duke, it was just, in my formative sports viewing, commentating years, the Krzyzewski Duke program, you guys know as well as I know, they were that. And so, yeah, hate Duke. Plus, I kind of adopted North Carolina. Ooh, Warren, he went out on a limb there, adopted North Carolina. Yeah, I did. I was Ed Cota, diehard Tar Heel fan boy. I'm messing with you. I've been here before. I'm not Nick Bro. I know, brother. And Kyrie thinks the earth is flat. Okay. Do me this one favor, friend. Prove to me it's not. Prove to me that it's not flat. 199. They're back and forth. They go back and forth. They go a tightly knit contest between the Nuggets and the newly formed Sacramento Kings. They just got put together. Oren, do you realize what a crap franchise the Nuggets have historically been prior to Jokic? Yes, I realize that. And historically crap. I think that's a bit of a. I think that's a bit much. Historically crap. You got to talk. We're talking about a team that, while they did not win a championship, that is something that can be said about a lot of NBA franchises. So would you say that's why we're historically crap? The Alex English, Kiki Vandeweghe, if they could have gotten past the Lakers once, probably would have at least got themselves one championship version of the Nuggets. That wasn't historically crap. They just couldn't get past the Lakers. And at that time, who could have? And then we're talking about the 98 upset squad that the only 8 seed to beat a 1 seed in most. That's not historically crap. And those were always competitive organizations that they fielded. Now, I will give you the Carmelo Anthony version of the Nuggets. That wasn't historically crap. They haven't won championships, but historically crap, I think that is a bit of an overstatement and mean. I think you're mean, Conga. I think you're mean. I think what you said was mean. I think it's mean. Did I mention that what I think that you said is mean? Okay. That's twice now, Daniel. Stop coming at me in real life. Yeah, for real, Daniel. Chill out, brother. Can't be an MVP without being a map. What is a map? And map. Sorry, most advantageous player. What's a map? Sorry, somebody tell me. Up until they won the championship, the Nuggets were basically the Clippers. That is categorically untrue. That is categorically untrue. Got it. Yep. Hated the Bulls because my family is from Detroit. Good reason to hate the Bulls. See, Oren, you like me. Everyone hates the Nuggets right now except me. I don't hate the Nuggets. I don't hate the Nuggets. Kyrie backtracked on flat earth theory. I think he just realized that wasn't a hill worth dying on. I think he realized. Here's the thing about flat earth theory, and I say this in all sincerity. There are a couple things you need to Google as factual pieces of evidence for many of the flat earthers, right? One of those things would be that there is not a real photo of the earth from distance, right? So every photo you've ever seen of the earth, this is true. The sphere that you've seen, every photo you've ever seen of the earth. Look, Russell Westbrook blew a fucking chippy. Oh, he's so frustrating to watch because he misses so many layups. It's almost crazy. We're talking about one of the greatest players. That should have been a goal. We're talking about one of the greatest players in the history of the game, and he misses so many bunnies. It's mind-boggling. Okay, flat earth. The thing about it is, you Google this yourself. There is not a picture of the earth as a sphere that is not a composite. That means that there's not a picture that someone backed up, because you got to think about it. Who would have been there to take a picture from space? Think about it. Use your brain. There's not a picture of earth. You can Google this yourself. There is not a picture of the earth from distance as a sphere that is not a composite. That meaning a bunch of other pictures stitched together, what they'll tell you, stitched together to look like a sphere. Well, why would you need to do that if you could just back up from the earth and take a picture of the earth that's a sphere? So that being said, knowing that if you use your critical thinking skills, right, the only way that people have been able to see the earth, and oftentimes when you watch those space station videos and they're going over the earth, and that curvature you might see of the earth, you can Google this yourself. That's because those are taken with what are they, convex? Are those called convex lenses? Nuggets up 104, 102 with 340 left in the fourth. So you just have to understand that there's a lot of things that flat earthers base there. Here's another one for you. Think about the art of cartography, or the science of cartography pre-flight. There are maps of the earth, right? Right. There are maps of the earth, and every map of the earth shows it laid out on a flat in terms of around, like you're looking down, and whether America looks kind of like this, it still kind of looks like America, or Africa kind of looks like this, but it still looks like Africa. You understand what I'm saying? They all show it. So all I'm saying is that flat earthers have a prove it to me argument that's kind of hard when you think about this, when you think about just what we have at our disposal. And outside of that, Nuggets had some good 80s teams. Yeah, Like, don't call us a crap organization. The Nuggets probably are are only now above 500 for their history. That's untrue, Conga. Now you're just being a dick. That is untrue. This is a winning organization in terms of winning percentage. Melo's teams were entertaining. Yeah, we had some squads, man. This is a team that, we didn't. Championship success was not realized until the Joker years. But now that you got a taste of it, it's like, and we're not just talking about a fluke. We're talking about categorically the best player in basketball. I want to see them most available player. Got it. Thank you, Dante. I'm so glad I have friends. I have internet friends that pull me out of binds and tell me what. Go out on an ocean fishing boat with me, and you'll see the Earth isn't flat. Okay, if it's a date, take me.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all.
By the way, I don't know. Isn't it all? When you're looking at the horizon, are you looking at, or isn't it all? You tell me. You've been out on fishing boats. Isn't it all? Am I tripping? It's all kind of. The other day I was watching a bird fly. We have turkey vultures out here. They fly, and I used to think they were hawks when I first got out here, which would have been infinitely cooler. We got turkey vultures out here, and they're always flying. And as you watch a bird fly away from you, it looks like they're. Now, I know he's not changing height very much, but as he flies away from you, they tend to go down and over the edge of, tree lines and whatnot, whatever. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm going to leave flat earth theory alone for right now. It is categorically true. Look it up. Okay, I'll look it up. Nuggets have the 14th best winning percentage in the league. They've been average, not crap. Thank you. Call our squad crap. Conga, you're a snob. Who do you like? Who's your squad? Take the past few Jokic years, and the Nuggets are below 500 franchise. You know what? I like you, Conga, but I'm not liking you right now. I'm not making up these stats. I don't expect that you're making anything up. Call yourself lucky to not have seen the late 80s Nuggets to the Melo's teams, almost 20 years of horrible basketball. I did see those teams. I've gone nowhere. I did leave. I'm being honest. I left when I left the working team years. I was like, I'm not going to watch this. What the fuck is a three-headed GM? Rex Chapman, working team, and Kroenke Jr., these three guys clunking their heads together like the Keystone Cops trying to come up with one roster. Nuggets up 107-102. Give it up. Dude, Orrin, look it up. I will. Clippers have the second worst winning percentage of all time. Jokic helped the winning percentage, but I doubt they were in the lower quarter prior. I find that hard to believe. Because you got to think, like, even you got to think that even though I hate the man as a postseason coach, the George Karl years, he's one of the winningest regular season coaches. So that there were 50-win teams. There were 50, high 40 teams those years. I just don't believe you. I don't believe you. There was like a 7-year window where the Nuggets were complete. Let me think. The Skittish Veely years were hard. Those were hard. The Skittish Veely years were hard. Everything post Antonio McDyess leading up to Melo, those were hard years. But come on, man. I think you're being a little hard on the brothers. The same people who think the Earth is flat think sports are predetermined. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Flat Earth, Jesus. Explain the time zones for one and cartography. You cannot project 3D objects on a flat piece of paper without distortion. Paper is all we had until 30 years ago. We can talk about that another time. It's a hologram. Agreed. You don't have a squad, can't stand the NBA. Then why are you talking? No, the original blue marble photo taken in 1970 team by the 1905. No, I'm telling you right now, look it up. It's not, I'm not. You go look at it. I'm telling you, every picture of the Earth that's ever been taken is a composite they're pieced together of different. Just having selective amnesia? No, I don't think so. Loop digger.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I bang. I'm a nice worker.
Hello to you too. Use Google Scholar to find real facts, not normal Google. I used Brave browser. I don't trust Google at all. Conga. If we're talking about franchises, the Chicago Bulls have been a crap outside of the glory. Exactly. Oh my God. Now I got to argue with Andon. Let me pull up my Brave browser. Now I have to argue with Andon. Don't use Google, Andon. I'm just telling you. Dude, you're wrong. Everybody loves to tell me that I'm wrong. Everyone loves to tell me that I'm wrong until I prove myself right. And then what do they say? What do they say after that happens? Are there is every photo taken of Earth a composite? They nothing. Would you believe the people who told you that they landed on the moon? Many Earth images are indeed composites, especially those that show the entire planet in high resolution. These composites are created by combining multiple images taken from satellites or spacecraft to cover the whole Earth, often to ensure cloud-free coverage and higher resolution details. Come on, man. Your research is coming from a confirmation bias. We're not going to argue about the Earth. We're not going to argue about the Earth. We can do that all another time. But yes, the Bulls have sucked since. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. GPS mathematics? I don't know about all that. Meanwhile, the Nuggets are about to win. Like I said, you're welcome. 114-110 Nuggets. We'll be here for the post-game sound. Good for you, Fishing. They battled back. Let's get mad about the first half and talk about flat Earth when they win. No. I'm right here for it. I just had to get those. I had to clear those out of the way. And we're going to be here for the post-game. We'll be here for the post-game comments. The fact that they scrapped one out over the Sacramento Kings, I'm glad that you're happy about it. And I am happy about it as well. A guy came from North Korea to watch Westbrook. Really? All the way from North Korea? The blue marble photo, untouched, is a single image of a round Earth. Come on, man. I'm not doing it tonight, Andon. Fishing's already pissed that we're talking about flat Earth and not about the Nuggets' vainglorious win over the Sacramento Kings. Fishing is the one guy keeping this positive outlook going for the Nuggets. Be more like Fishing. I don't mind it. We need some of that. South Korea, not North Korea. I would hope that a guy didn't. I would hope that a guy made it out of North Korea to see our vainglorious Nuggets. Let's take a look at the numbers. Joker has a Joker-like game going a bit. Wow. Not really. Only 6. He had to pull his scoring bag out. 9 of 18. Russell Westbrook came in and leads all scorers with 25 points. 10 of 20. 50% from the field. 4 of 7 from 3. Russie picking it up. So your next 3 games, 4 games, 5 games. Suns, Thunder, T-Wolves, Lakers. Suns, Friday. Thunder, Sunday, Monday. March 12th against the T-Wolves. Lakers, March 14th. Huge 5-game stretch. Zeke Naji hit a huge 3 to put to take the lead. Put the Nuggets up 96-95, I believe. 4 of 7 from the field. 1 of 3 from three-point land. Hit half his free throws. +7. Jamal Murray, a +19. 22 points. 4 of 10, although he wasn't. It was the free throw line where he did his damage. 4 of 10 from the field. 2 of 6 from 3. But 12 of 13 from the line. Jamal was forcing the issue at the cup in the second half. Good on you, Jamal. See, Fishing, we can do 2 things at once. I can be wrong and still be all right with it. Are you going to be all right? It was dude's 4th coming from South Korea. Was it? I don't know about that. I don't know what it is. I'll look at that W column. It's at Thunder in both nights, right? Yep. Thunder away. Yeah, Jamal did work tonight. Jamal decided that it wasn't working from distant. and decided he was going to force the issue at the rim and got the calls. If there's anything I'll offer up, not in my defense, I don't need to defend anything. What are we going to do about Michael Porter Jr., gentlemen? Yes, they won. Yes, they won. How do you get him right? What's the pill to get a consistent performance out of Michael Porter Jr.? That's a question that I'd love answered. Michael Porter Jr. goes 4 tonight, 1 of 7 from 3, 5 of 13 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Had 12 rebounds though, so he did his work on the glass. He did do his work on the glass, and I think that's something we had talked about the other night. Is the one place where he shows up. The one place where he shows up consistently is on the glass. He's going to rebound the basketball, and that is something that this team needs in a big way. That's something that this team needs in a big way. So the Nuggets get the win, 116-110. We'll stick around and see if we can catch some some post-game sound from Mike Malone and the crew and see how they feel that their performance went. It's a win that they needed. And when I say they needed it, that's just in terms of keeping pace with the rest of the Western Conference. With this win, the Nuggets will now be 40-22. So they'll be a half game behind the Lakers. And still in third place, obviously, but a half game behind the Lakers and jockeying and staying up in that 2-3 spot. I don't know if it matters all that much. I can say that. To Fission's credit, I'll say this. I don't know if it matters much if they need to be in that 2-3 spot. Hold on. One of Jokic's worst games, but it's still a W. Absolutely. Enjoy it now, Fission. We know the end result. This will be a shrug. I think if you every game that you win is a good game, but if you got to battle back to beat the Kings at the crib, I worry about your travails in the Western Conference. I'll say that. That's what you said at half. What did I say at half? Nice steal, Zeke. MPJ needs to go to a dark retreat before the playoffs. Yeah, that man needs to do some ayahuasca. Get in touch with his soul. Katie Wingy, Nikola Joe Clutch. Okay, so as we wait around, let me see if let me make sure that I tune myself. Let me make sure that I tune myself up and in. We're going to catch this post. Are we going to get this postseason now? Are we going to get this post game now? When the guys make themselves available, we'll be here to catch it. Get some comments from Mike Malone. They just finished the On the Court. I missed it. On the Court interview with Russell Westbrook, who is throwing a jersey into the crowd for some lucky fan. Oh, he's giving his jersey to the South Korean guy. Wow. And the guy is like blown away by it. Why is this guy so why is this South Korean dude why is he such a he is this guy is floored. This guy is floored. Russell Westbrook gave him his jersey and the guy he can barely stand it. So the Nuggets scrap one out. They scrapped. They clawed. Westbrook is giving his jersey. Yeah, I just saw. I watched it in delay. That's tight. Why is that guy here? Why is that guy there? Do the Nuggets get to 50 wins this season? Let's count them. Let's see if we can find 50 wins. Fission says yes. Let's see if we can find 50 wins. They are at 40 now. There are exactly 20 games left in the season. With 20 games left in the season at 40 wins, that's exactly what Bill Hanslick is addressing what I addressed, which it was a bad first quarter. And then they pretty much played into string the rest of the game. You got to eliminate those first quarters. All right, let's see if we can find these 50 wins. So I'm going to give them a win against Phoenix. I think that team is a more of a dumpster fire than most. So that puts you at 41 wins. And then you just got to scrap out 9 in your remaining 19 games. So back-to-back games in Oklahoma City. You got that 1 p.m. contest on Sunday. If the trend continues with how this team performs in prime time in front of God and all his children, I'm going to assume that trend continues, especially now that Chet Holmgren's back. Now, Oklahoma City's been boasting their 2-headed 7-foot center monster, and it's been working well for them as they're already at 50 wins. So I'm going to say the trend continues at Oklahoma City day 1. Do they come back the next day and get the win the next night in a back-to-back affair? That's a question, and I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say they'll lose those 2 games back-to-back. So they would be at 41 wins when they play Minnesota on March 12th. I'll give them that game. 42 wins against Minnesota. Then they got the Lakers, who have just been playing better, but I think they'll get the Lakers. Yeah, I'll give them that. I'll give them the home game against the Lakers. So that's 43 wins. Then come, okay, you see Washington on the schedule. We know. I say that they exact their revenge against the Washington Wizards on March 15th. So that would put them at, 43 wins. At Golden State, that's a loss. At the Lakers, that's a loss. So back-to-back losses. So they're at 40. Wait, I think I have them at 44 wins by the time they leave Los Angeles to head up to Portland. They'll get that win against Portland. So that would be 45 wins. At Houston, Houston is a team that's on the downward trend. Let's say they win at Houston, that's 46. Yeah, they'll get that. They'll get 50 wins this year. They'll get 50 wins this year. I can see Chicago as a win. Utah, they're winnable games on this schedule. There are more than 10. Let me see. Are there 10 winnable games left in this last 20? Yes. Phoenix is winnable. Washington's winnable. That's 2. Portland's winnable. That's 3. You see a trend developing here, though. Chicago's winnable 4. Utah's winnable 5. San Antonio's winnable now that Wemby's down 6. Not that it wouldn't have been any otherwise. Indiana's winnable 7. So you got 7 real, they just beat Sacramento. So it stands to reason that they'll, whatever that is, they'll gut it out. That's 8, 9. They'll just get under the wire. My prediction is that they'll either get 40. They're somewhere between a 48 and 50 win team this year. Somewhere between 48 and 50 wins. J Kid says 50 wins is very likely in the end, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. I not hard to lose it all. Okay, here comes Mike Malone.
Yeah, it took a little while, to get acclimated to, them starting Jonas on Russ and just assigning a player to just mug Nikola all over the court. But I think as the game went along, we did a better and better job. But here's the thing. I really don't care how they guard us. I really don't. They shot 62% in the first quarter. By far our worst quarter. Quarters 2, 3, and 4, I thought our defense was great. So how they guard Nikola should have no impact on our defense. And it did tonight. We allowed our offensive struggles in quarter 1 to allow them to score 42 points and shoot 62%. That can't be, especially with 20 games to go. There are going to be nights where our offense is not humming at the highest level. And what I loved about tonight, I thought tonight was a hell of a win. What I loved about tonight was the defense. I mean, to hold that team second half to 39%, fourth quarter 30%. And they really hurt us in the paint in the first half. They only had 12 in the second half. So as I was walking off the court tonight, somebody said, we'll take it. You're damn right we'll take it. I don't think anybody in this room realizes how hard it is to win a game against a team that has won 4 in a row. So for all the people out there that are saying, yeah, we'll take it, it wasn't pretty, it's a win. Okay, let's not get carried away. It's a good win against a team that's playing well. Yeah, I mean, Russ was outstanding. 25 points, 5 assists. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Had a huge impact throughout, and obviously knocked down a big three in the corner. Made some really big defensive plays. I thought Zeke Naji tonight was outstanding. Obviously, it was great to have Peyton Watson back. But I felt there were a couple of really important runs when Nicole was off the floor, that Zeke was on the floor, and that group defended and was able to kind of get us back in the game. So Russ was outstanding. I thought Zeke off the bench was incredible. Jamal, obviously, 15 free throw attempts, knocking down 14, and 8 assists, no turnovers, which is a great number. And I was just proud of Nicola for just kind of keeping his composure throughout. That's really hard in a game like that. And he gets you 22, 15, and 6. So a good win. We know that we'll have to be better moving forward, but we'll take it and we'll get ready for Phoenix in a couple of days.
Smaller guys are non-centers fronting him. Do you feel like maybe the level of physicality allowed is different at times in Bayern when it's kind of smaller guys?
He wants
Next
to
question.
say more. He wants to say more.
I appreciate the question. I really do. No, I know you're not. I just, because there's so many things that I want to say. And if you guys want to start a GoFundMe, I will say what I want to say. But I don't think that's going to happen in here. So, especially from Hastings, he still got his Holy Communion money.
You and us and everybody praises Jordan's ability. Talk a little bit about his durability, his toughness, average 36 minutes a game throughout this season, and then 30 tonight when it looked like he wasn't at 100%.
Yeah, and he's not at 100%. To your point, kids. The guy is incredible. Availability is one of the most important stats in this business, and his availability is just, amongst the greatest players to ever play this game. His availability is through the roof, as we all know, and have come to love and appreciate. And for him to go out there and play 38 minutes and have to it's not just the minutes that he plays, but think about what he shoulders every night within those minutes. He's the anchor and centerpiece of our defense, which he doesn't get enough credit for. He's a guy that we play through. He's got to score for us. He's got to play make for us. He's got to rebound for us. He's got to make everyone around him better. And we saw examples of it tonight. And I told the guys at halftime, I said, fellas, get used to this. We're going to see this for the next 20 games. The teams are not guarding anybody not named number 15, Nikola Jokic. So you can take it personal. You can feel it's going to happen. How do we react to that? But you can't say enough great things about Nicola's durability, his conditioning, to play the number of minutes that he plays every night, and to be the center of attention in all things that happen on the floor. It's just truly incredible. And as I've said countless times, just so thankful that Nikola Jokic is a Denver Nugget, and we all appreciate everything he does for us each and every day.
Offensively, when they're running the strategy, it seems like the defenders kind of just run more pick and roll. Is there a value in trying to figure out how to not have to rely on that to run your basically the rest of your offense and the post and this kind of thing, to work through it rather than just go to the counter?
Yeah, we know we're going to see this again, so we just have to be able to, number one for me, Matt, I said, fellas, if they score 42 points in the quarter and shoot 62, we're dead, because that means we're not running. We're not attacking the paint. Again, those two numbers, we have led the league in the whole year. And tonight we had 56 in the paint. We only had 13, but we had 26 on the glass. And I think a lot of those came in the second half. And then, yes, we can go to trying to post them up, which we tried to do in the second half. They front. Do we have the proper spacing for a high-low? Swing the ball back, work that triangle. In pick and rolls, they're switching, and now they're fronting them at the nail. So obviously, this is something that we're going to have to continue to work on ad nauseum moving forward, because this is going to be something we're going to continue to see. And but again, for me, the most important thing is if you want to exploit that coverage, get stops. It's really hard to implement that when we're taking the ball out of the net and they're setting their defense possession after possession like they were able to early in that game.
He has had struggles in the past playing the backup five. You go with him tonight with backup five in the minutes with backup players. What does he continue to prove to you over the course of the stretch and things that he's continuing to learn?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks to that he continues to stay ready, and I mean, the confidence in which he's playing. That's one thing that is like palpable. You can feel and see the confidence. He's making a defensive play, statement. And he's talking like he's emotional. He's into it. And Zeke is usually a mild-mannered guy, right? Quiet, goes out of. But when I see a guy out there who's not only stayed ready but playing with the confidence and how effective he's been, being vocal, showing his emotion, I love that because he's put so much time and work into it. And now this opportunity has been given to him, and he's taken full advantage of it. So, as I told Zeke after the game, I'm so happy for him. I'm so proud of him, and he had a lot to do with that win tonight in the 19 minutes that he played.
Okay, and we'll stick around and see who else they bring up to the podium. I stand pleasantly corrected in my assessment of whether or not this was going to be a win or a loss. I'll take all the wins that I can get. And I echo the same sentiment that Mike Malone echoed or voiced in that, which is that first quarter didn't just leave a lot to be desired. It speaks to the mentality of this team. The offense isn't going to be there. The one thing that you can always give is effort on defense. And that is going to be a consistent theme. Joker being double, triple, quadruple teamed, and sometimes the offense is going to look ugly. If that determines your defensive effort, you will be a team that goes home early. But we'll take the win. I'll guarantee you that shit. You know, I get this feeling like sometimes I'm not afraid to wear my heart on my sleeve. I get this feeling sometimes that there's a very myopic sense that my sentiments will determine the or fan sentiment determines the output of games, the outcome of games. Whether I think games are fixed or not, I know that I have no bearing on whether or not. All I can do is voice what, or fans are going to do is voice their concerns about or their opinions about what they're seeing. And so from that standpoint, you know, I get why you might not want to hear it. My suggestion to you would be, thank you for always coming through. Turn it off whenever it gets too much for you. And I think in hindsight, it's just a quality win. You need it. The Nuggets getting to 50 wins. Many of you think that that's a foregone conclusion. Will they need 50 wins to position themselves well? Where does this team's best fortunes lie? Fighting out of a lower seed or a higher seed? Having close to, I mean, you're not going to have a home court advantage. It seems like it's going to be hard to catch. I mean, is this a 60 win? I mean, like how many wins is this? Is this Oklahoma City Thunder team going to rattle off? As they are up currently on the Thunder, 91-85. I'm going to stick around for a second and see who else comes to the steps of the podium before I cut out of here. And I'm going to cut out early because, like I said, I just had family show up and it got loud, and I want to go say hi to my cousin. 94-85, Thunder over the Grizzlies. The Thunder, man, they're flirting with one of those seasons. They've lost 11 games. I mean, they're not going to be a 70-win team. You know, before they shut it down, you know, I guess, and sort of getting ready for the playoff mode, you know, hunting, I guess, how many games until they lock up that first place spot. Let's see. With 20 games left, I mean, the Nuggets, I guess it's going to be, they're not going to be able to lock up that first place spot for a week or so. Yeah, the one seed's a wrap. That's not coming back. That's not coming back. The one seed's done and done. Does this win cool down Malone's hot seat, or is it still scorching hot? Daniel, you are a pillar of consistency, man. I love you, brother. I fuck with you heavy, man. He just keeps banging that question. He just, in different ways, keeps banging that question. And the way that you ask it it's endearing. Annoying at times, but endearing. 3-pointers tonight. Porter 1 of 7. I see you, Daniel. 3-pointers tonight. Porter 1 of 7. Jamal 2 of 6. Westbrook 4 of 7. I mean, you can call him Westbrook right there, but he shot. Well, him and Jamal are basically the same percentage. It's really the Michael Porter Jr. train that we're on that is frustrating to watch. What is he going to become? Because we know what he is in the postseason. He's a no-show. And so if you're not building toward it and having at least an effective season when I say effective, I'm talking about consistency from deep, just offensive consistency. He has those stretches where he goes, he's a 25-game scorer, and then he dips back into these 11-point enigmatic nights when it's just like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? What are we doing? I was asking on behalf of Nuggets fans. We know you're asking. I know. We know. We know. We need to play the Rockets or the Kings in the first round. Yeah, I see where you would say that, J Kid, because it would seem, well, now when the Kings are at full strength, they'll have 2 7-footers that they can throw a joker. So think of that what you will. I don't think old boy is out for the season, is he? And it seems like the book is out. What are teams going to do? The teams are going to throw double and triple teams at Joker. So Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk were missing in this game, right? This is a team that scores 106. Okay, we got Jamal Murray.
That's where my mindset is. But again, I don't ever think it's the offense. I think it's the defense. And we picked it up, and then we were able to translate that to some points, and just kind of get over that 10, 8, 13-point hump, whatever it was. Kind of kept going back and forth, but it took more than a couple stops to really implement ourselves in the game. You know what I'm saying, on the defense end. So my biggest thing is just come out ready to play that same kind of mindset. I'm just all about building better habits for the playoffs. So I think like 16 of our 20 games are playoff opponents or something like that. So just I just want to start strong and not have to work ourselves in the game to kind of take them serious. Not that we weren't. It's just for us. But yeah, we got defense in the game, and we're able to kind of sneak away. I forget. I don't know. But to your question, no, Zeke is ready to play. Dude's a professional. He's up there shooting right now. And so I kind of know how life goes. Zeke didn't play for a very long time, and then as soon as he implemented back in the lineup, he's freaking hooping, and not just putting the ball in the hoop. We don't need him to just put the ball in the hoop. He was playing defense. He's rebounding. He's talking. He's playing physical. He's jumping. He's blocking shots. He's running the floor. He's not complaining. I could go on. Dude's just in a great rhythm right now. So I'm really happy for him, and hope he can keep making the most of this opportunity.
Great point, Iggy D. We'll see if that bears out.
Hit the open guy. Both. There's lots of different things. I don't want to get, like you said, don't want to get into it, but I mean, I have no problem hitting my guys to shoot the ball. Like, if they're going to leave guys for warm-up shots, I don't care who it is. It's a warm-up shot. Eventually, they're going to.
Whoa. Sorry.
I have full confidence in my guys, first off, to shoot the ball, anybody that comes in the game. And for Yoke, like, yeah, next question.
Sometimes see, like, you're kicking the ball out to him, you're kicking the ball out to him, and he's hesitating on the shot a little bit at the beginning, but he's still shot 3 of 6. How hard, you've always been hard on him, just in terms of making sure to let it fly. It's one of the ways to kind of break us.
I mean, it's kind of I don't want to say he's in his head, but it forces him sometimes to be in his head if a guy's not going to guard him. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm trying to tell him, just shoot it. Like, bro, like we're working this whole offense to get an open shot. If we have an open shot at the beginning of the offense, just shoot it. So I think he's just done a good job of just picking his spots and not letting, a couple possessions get to him or whatever. And, like you've seen this going from year to year. And I'm not worried about CP. I think it's just, like I said, just subtle reminders where he goes into the game playing with confidence and not having to like work ourselves in the game. You know what I'm saying? Let's just go from the get-go. So yeah. Man, I don't think I've ever shot over 10, bro. My fault. My bad. Jesus Christ. Any emphasis? Nah, just this is a fucking anomaly in the season for me. So I think it's just energy. I feel his energy. He feels mine. And not just today. There's games where he's, told me to just go get the ball or vice versa. And it's just, there's no fight. You know what I'm saying? We both want to win, and it's fun. It's fun. I get to play with somebody who has that kind of energy, loves to win, loves to compete. I have full trust in him. And just like I said, it's fun to play that kind of brand of basketball and playing up and down, and we're just kind of yelling, getting at each other and just hyping each other up. Like that's fun. So I feel like he really kickstarted the aggression for us. Whether he was missing or making, he was the one that kind of initiated us to be physical on the offense end. So I don't know how much he notices, but he's got a lot of guys on the team that watch him, study him, and appreciate everything he's done in this league.
Sorry, Lamar is so crafty. Only 4 times he got to the line tonight. Only twice at the line.
I mean, he's hitting everything though.
Yeah, but what was the key for kind of making sure that you add on to that? He's so good at pump fakes.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta live with it. To be honest with you, I mean, he's shooting. I'm not discrediting, but he's shooting tough twos a lot. Like I know he's making them, but it's like as a defense, it's like. I mean, he's like I said, you kind of force him into certain shots, and I'm sure teams say the same thing about me or Yoke or whoever, just kind of make him take tough shots. And to his credit, he was making them. So, like I said, I think just a couple of stints that we got on defense helped us out and helped us get the win. And I think Zeke got a block, Russ got a good contest. It was just a couple of times where we kind of paid a little bit more attention to him. And I'm not saying that changed anything, but I'm just glad we kind of got that defense in the game. So, but yeah, he's tough. He's tough.
You know what's interesting to hear Jamal tout is defense. It's interesting, and I like it. I like it only because if he's not just paying lip service to it, if he's not just paying lip service to it, if he's serious about it, I'm expecting to see it start bearing itself out on the court. You know what I mean? But good on Jamal. You know what I mean? He a guy who we know, who's Russell Westbrook at the podium. Hold
on. I mean, I'm extremely blessed and thankful, and the support of my fans always, because they see basketball as something that gives them confidence, gives them a sense of happiness, and I'm always really grateful to be able to use this game to be able to help to inspire people globally. Like I've always said since I've been in this league, I feel like that is my duty. That is why I'm in this position, to use this game to help inspire other people in any pathway of their lives. And I'm always grateful to see fans that come from all over the world to watch me and support me. I mean, it's very motivating. It's part of my job, and if I'm on the floor, to make the game easy for him. And if that's cutting, if that's making shots, if that's screening, that's whatever. I'm willing to do whatever it is that's needed. And teams has had a little bit of success, so that's what they're going to go to. But we'll see how it plays out.
Really, teams are hurting you differently at this point in the year than the start of the year.
I don't know. I just got back. So I don't know, man.
Miss those games going into the break. What has kind of the reacclimation process been like? Has it felt pretty smooth physically?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Defensively, coach talked about that being a major topic, especially after the first quarter. And what allowed you guys to get back into the game defensively? What are some of the key points there?
Just not letting them walk around, get things easily, getting back in transition, boxing out, making them shoot tough shots. They got a lot of tough shot makers over there, and our job is to make it difficult for them. And I thought we did a good job of that in the third, and then in the third and leading into the fourth quarter. I thought our physicality picked up, rebound and run. We played with some pace. We attacked the basket, which was an adjustment on our end, and I thought it was good for us, attacking the paint, getting the paint, generating open shots, and that was beneficial for us. Just, I see Zeke all the time working, and I'm always happy to see someone else do well. And, he's been working, has some up and downs, but I'm happy that he's found his way, finding ways to impact the game. And I thought he's been doing a good job, since he's been given the opportunity to be able to play.
Teams they've got 5 guys that are touching the paint. How important is it to find a balance between proving that coverage wrong by hitting threes versus continuing to attack and continuing to try to?
I mean, honestly, I know everybody likes to make a big deal out of it, but what are we 3-point percentage on the year? Where are we as a team? You sure? Yeah, I mean, what is the question? Like that's what I'm always interested in seeing. Like, what's the, obviously, some people only watch the TV game, so they watch the Boston game, and everybody has a comment. But throughout the year, consistently, I didn't hear any of this talk before. Now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we lose to the Lakers, and everybody's like, oh, I can't even cuss. But everybody's like losing their mind, and like personally, internally, like we don't panic, play the right way. The best player on the court in the world is Nikola Jokic, so I'll turn it over 20 times trying to pass on the ball. I don't really care. It's the reason why they got 5 people to paint. If I'm the other team, I'll try to do that too. It's our job as a supporting cast to make sure we help make the game easy for him. Get stops, run the transition, because we're the best transition team in the league. So when we get stops, you can't load up then. So our defense got to help our offense. And it's not just about shooting threes. I think that the game is a lot happening in the game. And I think, people outside of the game of basketball don't truly understand that it's not just about walk up, he's playing off, shoot a three. Like, that's not a real thing. Like, watch the game, you understand like how the game goes, how people are guarding, why they're doing it, who they're doing it to. It's bigger than just 3-point percentage and 3-point shots. Yeah, I mean, that place raised me. I'm from LA to the core, but when I got there, those people believed in me. They took me in. They took my family in, my friends. It's home for me, and I've always been connected to the city, and always found ways to stay connected through whether it's investments or whether it's through philanthropy work, and I'll continue doing that. And having a soccer team there, obviously, anything that's happening in Oklahoma City for the future and for the growth of Oklahoma City, I will be a part of.
Extremely high expectations for a team like this one that also has high expectations. What's the goal?
Good question.
These final 20 games in terms of getting ready.
One, staying healthy. I think two is just making sure that we're clicking and we are moving in the right direction. And honestly, just being together. I think a lot of times towards the end of the year, pressures seem to seek in, outside noise seem to seek in because of expectations, as you mentioned, and those conversations start to happen and everybody keeps asking those questions. But internally, it's our job to stay together, stay focused on the goal at hand, and take one day and one game at a time. Yeah. A lot.
Me
It's
too, John. Me too, J Kid.
it's part of my game. It's I've been blessed with to be able to. It's always, and also it's like a 50-50 for me, because sometimes if I'm really pissed, it can affect that way too. So I've really worked on that since I've been in the league, of controlling and understanding how important it is, my energy, my effort, making sure that I take care of my body to make sure I'm there to be able to support my teammates. Even the times I was out, it was important for me to make sure I'm here to be supportive if I'm not obviously rehabbing and coming back. But that's a huge part of leadership, a huge part of my responsibility as I've gotten older in this league, and I take pride in that. And I got to make sure that each and every night I bring that, regardless of what's going on with me, but make sure I can help bring other guys along.
All right, so that's Russell Westbrook. Couple things before we get out of here. To go back, I mean, they just brought Russ on. I'm not going to play any more sound, regardless of who comes up. Maybe Zeke Najee if he gets up there. First of all, to Fishing, Iggy, Andon, Daniel, J Kid, all the usual suspects. Dante, I think Conga, except for Conga. I don't think Conga gives a shit. He hates the NBA. Skunk Life. Everybody here is in some way, shape, or form supporting this team's travails. And I hope that I'm wrong. What I see is what I see, and it will bear itself out. But I hope that I'm wrong. I would love nothing more than this team to make, and I think everybody knows, I would love nothing more than this team to make another run to the NBA Finals and win one. Daniel Miller, I know all the media critic. I think we all, in some way, shape, or form, find different ways to support. I'm not as worried about the, oh God, it's too negative angle. What else am I going to talk about? I'm not going to sit here and suck dick. I know that. Pause. So there's that. But a couple things. Jamal pointed out, spoke on defense, but then what I found more importantly, had pointed out the fact that 16 of the last 20 games will be against playoff teams. Interesting note. Now, they've expanded the playoff field, so that's saying something while kind of saying nothing. But to his point, we're going to find out a lot about this squad then, aren't we? We're going to find out a lot over these last 20 games. So it's not going to matter what I say. It's not going to matter what, it's going to matter how they match up against playoff competition. That should tell us as viewers, onlookers, supporters, haters, whatever, that should tell us exactly what we're dealing with. 16 of your last 20 games. So I'm assuming we're taking out Washington, obviously, because they suck. Portland, because they suck. And what? Utah, because they suck. Everybody else outside of those teams is a playoff squad. Yeah, because there's 2 games against Houston. Wait. So you take, Phoenix right now is out of string. Okay, so Phoenix is playing out of string. Portland's playing out of string. Utah's playing out of string, and I think that's it, because I do believe Chicago is in the race in the East, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on one second. Let's look at the standings real quick. NBA standings. Just want to see in the East. No, the Bulls are in the 10th spot. So 3 teams that are eliminated, and then 16 of this team's last 20 games will be against playoff squads. So we're going to see what we got. It doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how I react during the games. What matters is how they bear out over this last 20 games. Many of you think that they're going to make it to 50 wins. It'll be a gritty 50 wins. It'll be a gritty 50 wins, because you got to get Aaron Gordon back healthy, and then you still got to figure out a rotation, although I do think that it's in this team's best interest to all hands on deck it. I'd like to see Jokic get a few games rest. He's getting beat up pretty bad. Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to spell him going into the playoffs, right? This triple team action, and Mike Malone was hesitant to sort of tee off. He didn't want to get fined for talking about maybe the officiating and maybe some stuff that's being allowed against Joker, which I'm quite sure will tighten up in the playoffs. A lot of that won't be out. But what's not going to tighten up is teams loading up on the inside and daring Nuggets shooters to beat them. You know, Russ talked about that. He talked about I love the comment. He's like, if I got to turn the ball over, I don't care how many times I've got to. Yeah, the Ruffs are treating Jokic just like Shaq. They're just they're allowing this style that, you know, we'll call it physical play, because it's physical. They're fronting him, and in doing so, lots of body, lots of handwork. You know, when a guy's that big and then they use a smaller guy, you know, you almost get this feeling that the ref's like, come on, man, it's just a little guy on you. You can handle that. And it's like, well, a foul's a foul, isn't it? But regardless, we're going to have to take the rest of this season as a test market for, I think, the next 2-3 seasons, because the way that the rest of this season goes is going to determine what happens with this Nuggets roster. I'll give you this, Nuggets fan. There is definitely room for improvement, right? Michael Porter Jr. over the next 20 games could find the man in him. He could find something that he feels like he does consistently well outside of, well, let me not, because that may outside of rebounding. Michael Porter Jr. is a stalwart and a staple for this team on the glass, without question. They are, and I think you can equally say, without question, they're going to need more than that for Michael Porter Jr., meaning that he's going to have to be someone you can count on offensively and comes up with some winning plays in the postseason. You're going to have it. There's no getting around that. Zeke Naji finding his legs is not a bad thing for many reasons. Mainly because if he plays well, I think whether you like it or not, he's a contract that you're going to have to be able to look at in the postseason anyway, in terms of bringing back maybe some more stability, you know, along with seeing if Deron Holmes, you know, comes back from injury and is an adequate backup center. And that was spoken to well. Jamal commented on it, and I think Russ had some comments on Zeke. Zeke's getting some time to play, and he's finding his, and we're starting to see maybe what everybody, or what the front office saw in giving him that $32 million. So there's that. There's room for improvement. As well as he's played, there's another level for Christian Brown to attain in order for this team to make it out of the West. Room for improvement. Jamal Murray's recaptured, I think, what leads everybody to believe he is a max contract type of guy. I want to see Jamal put his money where his mouth is on that defensive end of the ball talk. He talks about it. You know, I've yet to see the accompanying consistent effort, but he is a willing defender. And then Mike Malone figuring out his rotation, right? And is he going to limit himself by saying that he's got to stick? Like, I think it's actually, here's some bright side shit. I think the injury to Julian Strawther forces Jalen Pickett into the mix, just as far as having another go-to ball handler is concerned, and a guy who's proven that he can, you know, hit a shot when called upon. That might be something that's needed. I think the way the Nuggets, somebody said that this is a champion, this is a playoff built roster. Who said that? Iggy D. This is a playoff built roster. Okay. If it is that because there is a longer bench? You know what I mean? Not a playoff roster in terms of, oh, that short bench. You know, they've got active guys. They've got guys they can use. I just don't think they got a strong 7. I think they've got a full 9. Let's call it that. It's like playing spades. They got a possible 9. And personally, I think they're going to need them. What did young Jalen do tonight? 18 minutes, 2 of 5. I think Jalen's actually played himself into the string, because the one guy you're going to see come back that was not available tonight is a G, right? Julian Strother's out of the mix. He's done for the season. So Jalen Pickett, here we go. Penn State guy, Calvin Booth's guy. Here we go. Right? And that's actually not a bad place to be as a young team, a relatively young team outside of Joker. Young guys stepping up, whether you make it to the Western Conference Finals or not. You're going to see what you got in these young guys, and you're going to see what some of your bad contracts are worth. Really worth. One of some of your not so good contracts are worth. Man, oh man, another one in the books. Fuck 12, 10 toes, all of them down. One time for the hood.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. Every day in my hood, I'm a nice worker.
That's going to do it for me tonight. Nuggets get the win. A good win at that. Shout out to Fishing for Cards, our pillar of positivity. And Andon G, who is convincing me that the earth is not flat. I didn't say I think it's flat, by the way. I'm just saying that the flat earthers have a case. And maybe listen to it. All right, man. I will be back tomorrow for the entire hood.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all.
I am Oren Lamena. This has been 5 to Go combined with Good News Travel Fast on the Kill You with Truth network of programming, brought to you by the incomparable, the indomitable, the man, the myth, the legend, Darren Mickey, also known as D-Mac. Peace and love.
And now it's time to play everybody's favorite game.
We are jumping that combination. Jesus Christ. We can't run.